I think the last time you and I sat this close to each other, we were in barber school back in Long Beach, bro. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
How long
right?
ago was that?
98,
Yeah,
99,
yeah.
2000,
Wow.
right around there. Late 90s, early 2000s. We're in that period of
We
time.
run into each other like Dodger games and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, we literally were working next to each other as barbers in the school, Roston School of Hair Design in Long Beach. They've since moved, I think, to Riverside, if I'm not mistaken. Our instructor, Bob, but I remember Bob very dearly. He was
yeah.
very dear to us.
Bob Alley.
Bob, yeah. Man, we learned so much from him.
Yeah, he's a legend in the game.
Definitely, definitely. So, just to give a little context to our viewers, the way Gabe and I met, the way we met was at a barber school. You decided to take your career into choose barbering as your
Yeah.
career. Myself too, and here we are. We find ourselves at a school in Long Beach, trying to figure out this haircut game, right? One of the things that we learned from there was that we knew very little. We wanted to be the best that we could be. We were very competitive. I think that's what kind of inspired each of us. We had that edge. We wanted to be the best, right? We looked up to barbers that had did it before. At that time, in when we were going to barber school, the only barber shop that was really breaking the trend from the old barber shop was, to me, No Color Lines.
Yep.
So No Color Lines, Ferns, yeah, Adam, Kathy,
Drabo,
yeah,
Hen Dog.
and Dog, yeah, definitely. So that was my first, I guess, visual to a barbershop. Barbershops weren't cool back then.
Yeah.
That was one of the cooler ones. It was people more our age, more our age group, our type of haircuts. They were actually fading hair versus giving people bowls. Because it was a transition that typically, like the fade, it started within the black barbershops. They were the ones who really started fading hair a little first. They had a really cool aesthetics. Younger barbers were there, but for us, for our culture, just outside of that, it was just your mom and pop barbershops or supercuts that we had
Yep.
at the time. Fantastic Sam's. I could think of a lot of different.
Latia in the the beauty salon,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. She was
Latia.
low key good, man. Them scissors.
I went through a lot of times.
Yeah. So through that, I think you and I can agree that once we found our shop, I mean, obviously you went to No Color Lines, I went to No Color Lines. Ferns was my barber, and it was just like, man, this is great. Wow, I'm cutting my own hair at home, cutting a few of my friends' hair, but I'm like, that barbershop made such an impact on me, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that was
100%.
right?
Yeah.
Same feeling. So when we're looking at the possibilities, right? And then Fern, early on, I told him, yeah, I kind of cut my hair a little bit early on. He's like, look at everybody waiting here, man. There's money to be made
Yeah.
here. He really was very nice about it. And in fact, he told me about the school. I learned about Rostons from Ferns.
Right.
So, plugged me in, told me who to go to, and my barbering career started off back then, and that's how we connected. So we wanted to give our viewers a little bit of a context as to how we met.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got in there shortly after we graduated. Something that really popped in my head. I wanted to say this. Shortly after we were I don't even remember who graduated first or whatever, but we graduated, and there was one chair at No Color Lines. Right, there was one chair that was gonna be available. So we were like, oh man, I'm thinking to myself, let me get this chair, got these fades down right. In my mind, at that very start of barbering, all I cared about was making sure the haircut came out right. Wasn't working on me, wasn't working on my whatever issues I had. I was just wanting to lock in on the best haircut. You were a little more professional than me. I got to give it to you at that time.
He's like, yeah.
A lot more.
I mean, when you grow up where we grew up, it's like you've seen people do bad things and mess up, and it's like, I don't want to go down that route. We got to move forward and move ahead. If you want to go back, that's why it makes sense why our parents tell us what they tell us. Like, stay away from him, stay away from your cousin, stay away from this guy, because you'll get dragged into it.
Absolutely.
And it makes, kudos to my dad. He's the one that was on me tough. Like,
Yeah.
Don't be messing around because you're gonna end up like my brother over here.
Yeah, you got a clear example.
Yeah, like 18 DUIs in the 70s and 80s. I was like, what? How do you get 18 DUIs?
And he's still driving.
This guy passed away a couple years ago, but it's funny, man. It's a story that my whole family knows, man. Half of my family is Mexican, half of my family is from Uruguay. And my Mexican family used to get my Uruguayan family party and going to get it. They used to live over in off the Esplanade. This guy was driving home down 190th and crashed into the Welcome to Redondo Beach Pier sign when it was made out of wood and knocked it down.
Wow.
Dude, that's iconic right there.
My dad used to be like, bro, you can't make this stuff up, man. Like, this guy's crazy. But
That big King Harbor sign?
yeah, it used to be made
No
out of wood in
way.
the 70s and 80s. He knocked it down, I think it was like 79 or 80. I was like, no way.
Wow.
So he's the reason why they built it the way
Out of
they
metal.
built now. They were
Out of
like,
metal.
this will never happen again.
We can't have that happen.
No.
Right. Yeah, so there's been quite a bit of things that have happened in our lives. We've at that point that chair was available, and I wasn't chosen for that spot. You were chosen. Ferns was like, no, we got it covered. And then it at that point, it really helped me to realize, like, wait, what? Like, it made more of an impact. I can't say I was angry. It just left me kind of in a very, like, I did some soul searching, like, why? I'm good. Like, what do you mean? Why can't I be a part of this shop, right? I was like, man, okay, well, let me figure it out. So it started my process, right?
So you thought it was a given that
Exactly.
chair. Oh, you were locked in. Did
Oh,
you even consider that
100%.
Gabe might be also in the running for that chair?
I didn't. I didn't just because I don't know what I was thinking. I just never did. I never really thought about it that way. But it was somewhere that I wanted to be at the time. I really wanted
was
to
the
be there.
happening, Barber.
Bro, it was popping.
It really was.
But I say that because I think that a lot of young people today have a little bit of a sense of entitlement, and we see that
100%.
but we see that within our communities. We see that with our coworkers and so forth. And it's something that you can grow out of. At that point, I kind of was a little bit on the within my feelings, but those feelings motivated me to look at myself. What do I need to do? Who do I need to get rid of?
Yeah.
Like go back to our core. What our parents would tell us. Hey, no, you got to get rid of those people. It wasn't. I realized later on that it wasn't my hair cutting that's why I didn't want it. It was bigger than that. It was his reputation. It was the reputation I was bringing into that barbershop at the time, right? Because I was young. I had built a bad reputation. So then, cutting hair was my way of breaking that mold that I created, but it was still too young for me to break. I still had to prove myself a little bit. So that was my opportunity to prove myself. And I hold you guys very dear to that, yourself, Ferns, because you made me think. It's very few people that can have that effect on you. You guys didn't even know. You know what I mean? But my success today and everything that I've wrapped up into my world of barbering has been a lesson that I learned a very long time ago from yourself and Ferns, and seeing you guys grow and operate. I mean, I was watching. I mean, why wouldn't I? How could you not? I'm trying. I think what do they say? Imitation is the best compliment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to imitate what these gentlemen are doing because they're doing something. You know? Even the barbers. Kathy was amazing, and back then she was probably one of the only female barbers.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so she was a trendsetter. Now there's thousands of female barbers. More women have jumped into our field, and it's great. It's great to see because they do bring an element to the shop. So you just celebrated 20 years, bro.
I did.
Man.
My apologies, I didn't send you an invitation.
I got lost in the mail.
I was like, nah, I didn't get lost in the mail. Like, Eli's big. I knew what you were going through, and I'm like, I'm not gonna throw him aside. I don't need to drag him into this. You know what I mean?
No, I appreciate that, and it's true. I appreciate that you did. You were, kind of keeping up on me and making sure I'm okay. When we had to move, I want to share this with our viewers. Is one of the first people to actually call me and offer to help out and offer, hey, how can I assist? Was Gabe. Gabe called me and said, hey man, I heard what's happening. You got to move kind of abruptly. If there's anything that you need, I mean, and he listed all of his connections. So he was able to share that with me, And that's what we're here. We're here because we are two people who've serviced the South Bay community. You've done it for 20 years at that spot. It's commendable. That sustainability is not common.
Yeah.
You have a lot to really give to our community, and here's your opportunity.
Thank you, man. I just, I want to see people move ahead and do good for themselves, and it's hard because you could lead the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. And you know what? We all have to learn on our own time. You know what I mean? Like you, like me, like Eddie.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing about the barbering is that everything's wide open. Conversations are wide open. Behavior is wide open. There's no hiding in a barbershop.
Oh.
You're having a good day, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
You're having a not so good day,
Yeah.
guess what? Everyone knows
Very
that
true.
too.
Very true.
So, what we wanted to kind of focus on a little bit was just some of the things, like, for example, what made you kind of want to start your own barbershop?
I was with Fernando for about 7 years, and he had to move. Same thing with you, similar situation. CVS went over there and bought out their whole lot, and they, it's probably one of the first stories of gentrification in our era, almost 20 years ago.
Wow.
And they were like, hey, you guys got to go from like 2 months in 2 months. And he was like, what are we going to do? And they ended up finding a place, which was a little bit further where I wanted to go. And I was like, you know what? I don't really want to go that far. I want to stay a little closer. And the opportunity came. And, I talked to him from the jump and told him, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I know you guys are going to go that way. I'm going to go right here, And he gave me his blessings, and everything ended up going the right way. Thank God.
Well, because you did it the right way.
Yeah. Even the way aesthetically how your barber looks, I feel like you really put in and poured your heart out to write the details that are in there. It's like, okay, this is him. This is your baby.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
One thing about this profession is obviously it's all in the details, right? In anything really, but especially in barbering, the smallest detail can really change a whole look.
Yeah, and there's something in this business too. Like, you can't make everybody happy. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard. You know that, Eli. It's hard. The one day you cut a guy up for 7 years, 15 years, and the one day that, hey, I gotta go to my son's jiu-jitsu practice, or I gotta go to my son's 5th birthday. You know what I mean? Forget him. I'm not messing with him no more. Just because you couldn't do it one time.
Wow.
Eli knows that.
Yeah,
Those are ridiculous standards.
Yeah, so that's what goes on behind the scenes at the barbershops.
Yeah, it
is that as busy as you guys see us, and as amazing as a lot of people say that we are, and we thank everyone for that, because we're always trying to do our best. But there are definitely clients that are just, for whatever reason, the first time you tell them no, it's almost like you're telling them, I don't want to cut your hair anymore. Because people maybe they don't think about it, but we do have a life outside of the barbershop.
So what's that, like, entitlement? Like I mean,
I think that's exactly what it is. Is that you always say yes, 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 and the one day you say no, they're like, what? Yeah.
So it's
part of the business, though. You gotta learn.
Of
you
course.
gotta learn how to let those people go. Hey, I'm sorry I wasn't able to accommodate you. And it's even to the part like, hey, I could have my buddy take care of you, or I could have him do it. No, if you don't do it, I'm never coming back here again. I was like, bye.
Wow.
Los guachamos, you know what I mean?
Wow, that's a
and it's very true.
I just don't have that. I don't see how you can have that just because you're paying for a service. Now this is your time belongs to me, almost like some ownership thing. Like, wait a minute.
Well, see, this is the thing too. Also, as barbers, we're and people in the beauty industry in general, we're people pleasers. We want to please people because we recognize how important every single client is. We really strive to make every single person important. Now that we've got you to that place, now, when something like that comes up, maybe they don't feel as important, or they don't realize that the stuff that we need to do is as important too. I mean, you're a family man now, right? So, I mean, things come up. I remember when I was raising my family, there's challenges every single day, like anybody else.
You know, when we were in school, I used to see you and you'd be stressed out, you know, had little Eli in the chair, you'd be running around and I'd be like, man, he's stressed out. Now I'm in your shoes, you know? I got a 10, a 6, and a 4-year-old little girl, and I'm like, this is why these guys were going crazy. All the fathers that I know, Fernando, you, Hen Dog, I was like, it all makes sense now. Now you guys are big chilling right now. I'm the one going through it.
Those age groups.
5 years ago, this beard was jet black. Look at this. I'm looking like Santa Claus over here, man. I was like,
Well, full disclosure, I dyed mine, brother, for that reason, bro. Ain't no faking the fun. You know, I was like, I needed to bring some of that youthful vigor I used to have that my kids took away, right?
You got me. I thought it was all natural.
No,
It's good. It's
thank you,
good.
man.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So it's something that we do. But that's part of why I wanted to kind of have you here on our show, man, because it has become such a full circle in life. You know, back then you saw me a certain way. How you were working and keeping your business, that made an impact on me, and I saw how hard I had to go to sustain that. You know, based on, I mean, man, you guys were popping all the time, and then when Pressbox opened up, I was like, what a great name. By the way, I love your name.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
That I know we've spoken about names, how important it is, that's one that just stands the test of time.
Thank you.
You know, so.
You know, actually, I was gonna name it South Bay Barbershop.
Oh, man.
That's what I was gonna name it, but somebody else had the name, so I'm like, oh, it is what it is.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you that, man. You kind of read my mind. I was like, "What? Was there any other name in the running?"
That was gonna be it. There was a guy out of I want to say Harbor City or Lomita that had South Bay Barbershop.
Okay.
That's long gone.
Yeah,
See what I mean? Yeah, long gone.
Yeah, no, the name ended up being just the right name. I feel like,
Oh,
that you do feel like it's a unique experience, right? Like
Yeah,
it's like a
of
press box. Not everybody gets to see the game from right there, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's cool. I always liked it, even
It's
though
to the point like now there's other people that want to mimic what you got going, you know, and
Yeah.
even try to move right next to you, you know, which is part of the business, you know.
Yeah.
That, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's part of the business. This business used to be a lot of respect and like genuine and loyalty. Hey, you open up your own shop. You work for me 5-10 years. Understood. 15 years. You want to go do your own thing. All right, move like 3 miles away. Right now, they'll go to the next building over to you.
Yeah.
wow.
It's part of the business, though. You know.
It is. Well, it is, but that's not something that we want to promote, right? We like to talk about some of the things that we did
Best.
growing up.
Yeah.
And the reason why you have 20 years is because you did things right.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you've been able to sustain, because you always paid your respect to who you needed to pay them.
Right.
And that's how it goes. Same for me. You know, I stayed for about 14 years in the same location. I always did right by people, you know, that. In fact, you bring up a good point. People have opened up shops outside of you, right?
Yeah, of course.
How many people have you helped out that you can remember?
There's a couple. Man, my boy Steve Gonzalez out of Culver City. He opened up his own thing. My boy Frankie Ramos. My boy James Ho. You know, and there's other people that like. Everything you teach them the ganas, the hustle, the want, and they take it with them. You know what I mean? You know, they're like, hey, I don't want to live in the South Bay no more. I'm moving to San Diego, or I'm moving to Redlands, or I'm moving to Van Nuys. And they were like, Vegas, my boy Sammy. And they're like, bro, shout outs to you. You showed me the hustle, you know?
That's right. That's right.
And there's not a lot of hustle no more in this business. These guys, they cut 3 heads and they act like celebrities, you know? They take pictures of the Mercedes Benz and I'm like, you know that, you know? I'm like, bro.
Come in at 11, leave at 3.
Yeah.
I'm like, huh?
That's a good schedule.
It's like, I'll take that schedule.
I'm like, bro, you did 3 cuts today. What are you talking about? I'm like, I cut 15 by lunchtime. You know? You know that, though.
Yeah. And you know what? Because I feel that this is one of the reasons why we had to sit down, because we want to reach out to all those young ones that are coming.
Yeah, of course.
There's a huge amount of people interested in the barber game right now. They want to become barbers, In fact, barbering is one of the fastest growing professions as we speak, along with content creators.
How do you guys feel about that? That now it's become like glamorized, and when you guys were coming up, like you did it
It
kind
was
of.
frowned upon, remember?
It really
I had
was.
cousins that made fun of me. They're like, oh, you're going to cut hair? I would never be touching old dirty guy's hair.
Right.
You know, I'd be like, what?
It was
You know?
terrible. It was terrible, but because for us, like, we don't cut hair because of the money and stuff like that. Yeah, it's
You
important.
got to love what you do.
Yes,
You got to love it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? I tell all my barbers, if you're doing this to get by, that's cool, but you're not going to make it. You got to love what you do to survive and make it happen and pay your bills and move forward in life. You know what I mean? Like, you got to love what you do. Otherwise, you're wasting your time.
100%. I completely agree. And that's what I feel has been lost. Too many people are looking for the monetary side
everybody, all of these barbers are like, look at this haircut and look at me on Instagram. Right?
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I'm covering my face on Instagram. I'm like, I'm too busy. I don't got time for that.
Yeah, seriously. I was like, dude, I don't see you anymore. What's going on? I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm busy, bro.
What's the transition
Oh.
like to from being like the barber to being an owner of a barbershop?
It's 0 to 100 real quick because you're responsible for all the bills, gas, water, light, electrical, rent. You know what I mean? Insurance, your supplies. You know, you're liable for everything in the shop. You know, it's everything that you got to supply. The washing machine, the napkins in the bathroom, the supplies. It's everything. You're in charge of everything now. You know what I mean?
So you go from just showing up and cutting hair
To hey, oh, you thought you were gonna get away with 8 hours a day? No, buddy.
No.
You're gonna be working if you're gonna be a shop owner, you're gonna be working 16-hour days for the first 3 to 5 years, like guaranteed.
Absolutely.
He'll tell you
because
that.
if you're not going to establish it. I mean, this is what we had to do back then. Forget because back then there was no social media, there was no Yelp when we started operating our shop. Now there are tools that can help you, but even using those tools, it's still going to take you that same amount of time.
Yeah.
So if you're not handing out cards, you're not there, you got to be on your socials to make sure you grow. But one of the things when you transition from a barber to an owner is that now whatever those shop hours are, guess
that's
what?
what it is.
That's what you got. You got to be there. You can't expect others to be
you
there
gotta
for
open and close.
Yeah.
And then stay after, I'm sure.
Yeah, if the shop says you open up at 8 o'clock, you better be there at 7:59 and turning that key.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's your responsibility now.
If you want to be successful. If you don't want to be successful and you want to have people chasing you, I'm not like that. I don't want people chasing me for a haircut. I want to secure an appointment and then do my business.
And it's and that's from you being a boss too and an owner. It's like whoever you hire, they have to be willing to be there at the time that they say they're going to be there. That you and the barber agree on. You know.
Yeah.
That's a good one too. Dealing with other barbers now.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because it's like now their problems, they want to act like their problems is your problems. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I have a flat tire. Oh, I forgot to take my kid to school. Oh, I went out last night and got drunk. Like, that's cool. I've done all of that, but I was still here at 8 o'clock turning the door. You know what I mean? And that's where the entitlement comes in. Like, oh, I don't got time for that. Like, but you have 7 people waiting outside the barbershop at 8 o'clock, you know?
Yeah. So it's definitely not for the weak.
It's not.
It's not for the weak. It really isn't, because it is a lot of work. I don't agree with how some shops are promoted or some approaches are promoted where, you know, you just want to charge all this money and you want to have all this, have only 3 haircuts but charge them $250 a pop. it really, like, just from a human standpoint, from a consumer standpoint, I'm like, come on guys, like, it's a haircut, bro. I mean, I get it, we all want to make money.
Yeah, you can only paint, you know, you can only paint lines on a donkey, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's still you could act like a zebra, but you're still gonna be a donkey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Real life, like you and I both know that in any business, it's like you have to be cool, you have to be kosher, and you have to be at who's gonna come back paying $250 for a cut?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I get there are instances where that price would be
Yeah,
something that
cool.
you
I mean,
make.
if it's your wedding and they ask you to do a house call, all
Yeah,
for
for
it.
sure.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
sure, yeah.
But you got a guy sitting in his mom's garage, you know what I mean, putting a videotape, you know. And I get it. That's cool. If that's your gimmick and that's your
Yeah.
thing, that's cool. But real life, he's not gonna ever make it out in the real shop,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. No. Absolutely. No. Not like that. And that's why it's important for people like you and I to sit down and go out of our comfort zone. You know, we wanna make an impression like No Color Lines and Ferns made an impression on us, and it helped
Right.
us. They showed us the way. We hope that this conversation can help some of these upcoming barbers to see what it really is and what it isn't, what the shop culture is, what it can be, what we can work towards. And that's one of the things. Let's gear into that shop culture. You know, I mean,
The shop culture, man. It's like you get everything. You know, you get doctors, lawyers, judges, police officers, firefighters, gangsters that we know, you know, drug dealers, you know, the todo. There's everything, you know, and there's even problems when different neighborhoods or different guys run into each other, like from that have family problems, and they have to handle their business sometimes inside the shop or outside the shop. I'm the one dragging them out, like go take care of business in the alley, not inside the shop. Okay. I'm pretty sure you've been through that, right?
Yeah, I have.
I've been through it multiple times. You know, it was to a point at No Color Lines we had a pair of boxing gloves. You know, hey, you guys want to smash it out, squash it right here.
What? Dude, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're right.
For me, I tell everybody, hey, if you guys got something to get off your chest, we're all going to the alley. You know, kudos to my boy Walter Prieta, my boy Junebug, Jaime. Everybody knows they handle their business in the alley or in the back of the shop. Go handle your business outside. And they're out there slugging it out. Afterwards, they shake their hand. All right, everybody on there about their business.
Yeah. You know what? I don't see that anymore.
Unfortunately, I do.
Does it happen after the haircut or before the haircut?
In between the haircut.
Oh my God.
So
You got half done?
Yeah,
no way.
You got a guy with a busted nose and bloody earring, and they're both just dogging each other afterwards. I'm like, bro. I'm like, you guys are tripping, man. You guys got to handle your business outside the shop, you know? There's a time and a place for everything,
absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So much to manage. You guys are really shedding the light.
And we're out here playing
We're babysitters in a sense.
yeah,
Therapists, babysitters.
therapists, man. Like, bro, why'd you do that? Like, you know, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I said, you know how I got to kill him with kindness. I'm like, would you do that in front of your mom or your grandma at your house? I would never do that. They'd be like I shot myself in. They're like, they shot themselves in the foot. You know. I love them and they're still my boys, but they know that they can't be doing that and they have to learn. Yeah. That's just part of the business.
It's true, and see that's one of the things that really speaks volumes of you, because you notice needs in the community within your barbershop, within your clientele, maybe your barbers that are there too, and you know, as people pleasers, and obviously we want to put our best foot forward. We want the whole shop to obviously keep up the standard that we've worked so hard for, right?
Right.
And so it's like, okay, this is kind of what we do. These are the do's and the don'ts, because as barbers owning a barbershop, we don't have employees. They are independent contractors, and they have the freedom to do certain things.
Yeah.
With that freedom comes great responsibility, right? But at the same time, if you're not disciplined and you have too much freedom, that freedom is going to eat your business alive.
It'll sink you. I know more barbers than I could count on my hands that are talented, flawless barbers, but they can't put the habituates away. You know what I mean? And I'm like, bro, like you're killing yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you need to stop drinking. You need to stop smoking. You're only hurting yourself. You know?
Yeah.
And it's not just barbers. It's in all forms of life. You know?
Yeah.
But it just seems like it's all clustered here, right? Like you gotta manage a lot, emotions, people, your own people, the bills. Like, man, it's really like I respect to you guys. I really, you know, me as a client, I enjoy getting a haircut. I like the feeling walking out. But once I walk out, I'm not thinking, what is Gabe and Eli doing, right? You know?
Yeah.
Until right now, I'm really like, wow, like you're putting things into perspective. Like, man, this is not, like you said, it's not for the weak.
It's not.
We're putting out fires. We're constantly looking for the right blend of personalities within our shops.
Yeah.
Because one bad personality can really ruin the whole shop.
Yeah.
One
a
one
rotten
barber.
One bad apple will
Yeah.
ruin the whole batch, man. And
Absolutely.
I've seen it. It's happened to me.
And now think about it. You have, right, bills to take care of. You have barbers that you depend on. Because one thing that I do want to get clear is that as barbershop owners, we depend on the barbers that work with us to be successful. We need them as much as they need a place to work, and they need us. So once both people have that agreement, harmony comes through, right? Yeah. But until that, there's a lot of ups and downs. There's hectic things. There's fires you got to put out. Drinking is a big problem for anybody in all walks of life. But imagine you have the freedom to have a drink, and you know, maybe you offer, some people offer drinks to their clients, which is perfectly fine as long as you're not charging them. But within that offer, then now you're kind of creating a part. Oh, have one with me. Yeah. All right, no problem. Have one with. All right, that's fine. Oh, have another. If that person had just one and they're an alcoholic, they're gonna have more than one.
That's where the problems start. You know, like I tell all my boys, you know, hey, you guys want to get a michelada, 1 or 2 during your ceviche for lunchtime? Understood. Outside of the barbershop, understood. You know, it's your girl's birthday and you want to take her to lunch and you want to have 2 or 3 well drinks. That's cool. But if you're having 17 micheladas for lunchtime, or you know, 16 well drinks, it's like, bro, call it a night. Like this, I've had guys that have come back in stumbling, you know, and it's like, bro, go home. I can't have you like that here. And I'm talking about talented barbers. You know what I mean?
Wow. The biggest talent, I think, is availability.
That's it.
And everything that we've learned, that's the biggest thing is, are you available tomorrow? Because that's what a client's gonna ask. What's your availability? If you're partying hard like that, like a rock star trying to be a barber and get all famous, you're not gonna be very available for actual haircuts.
I mean, we've all been through it. Like we've done it, but you best believe we were at that door hurting the next day, sweating bullets with a coffee shaking, you know? And we paid our dues, you know?
Yeah, knowing that we've all been there, we've all, you know, I guess what's wonderful about this is that the level of maturity, right?
Yeah.
The process that we've learned from all the stuff that you've dealt with, I've dealt with. It's very similar. It happens very similar in barbershops. Again, because of that freedom and the constant need. We all need each other. We need you to be available to get these walk-ins because I'm booked up. This guy's booked up. You're kind of the walk-in person, so you gotta be available for that.
But even when you're not the walk-in person, like when you and I are booked up, you know what I mean? And hey, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to come in with me and my 2 kids, you know? You're 12, 12:30, and 1, no problem. Let's take those walk-ins in. You know what I mean? So it's part of the business. You know, you got to play both sides too.
Yeah, 100%.
Some guys are quick. Some guys are quick to be like, "Hey, I'm going on an hour and a half lunch. I'm out of here." I'm like, "Nah, well, I'm gonna get my hustle on."
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you guys ever? Everybody starts as the walking guy.
I mean, it's a yin-yang of both. You know, a yo-yo of both.
Yeah. I think Gabe and I kind of, because we had, you know, we had an example, I guess. Ferns was a good example to us, how he ran the shop. So he had a very good example. I would look at their example and try to mimic it. And then when I took my talents eventually to George's shop, Alfaro's Barbershop, he showed me more levels of maturity and the importance of always being available. Not people please, but be available, because you can't, like he says, it's a never-ending rabbit hole if you become a people pleaser, because you'll never get out of that. You have to value yourself a little bit, because I mean, think about it. You have bills, there's demand, and I mean, you could sit there and work all night if you want to. You know what I mean?
I used to. That was, you know, before my kids came, that was me. I was be there till 11, 12 o'clock.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Gabe's one of the hardest workers around, for sure. Absolutely. It's not by accident, and I hope that
20 years.
Yeah, I hope our viewers get to know that, you know, all these things. We're dumping a little bit, but it's so that hopefully that, you know, we can impact that one barber that is on the fence of what it takes, and you know, maybe they're struggling with something. We all struggle with something.
Yeah, of course.
I had to make some serious changes to even be in a situation to have a barber shop. I had to make changes to be in a situation to move. You know, like we're always evolving, but as long as it's always for the better, then we can make an impact. And that's what ultimately we are. We're cornerstones of our community.
Yeah.
We take that very seriously. The fact that you've been open for 20 years shows me how serious you take it.
Yeah.
And so for the people that are, looking for a good place, definitely I'm endorsing your spot. He's sending me people too. We're always kind of low-key sending each other people.
It goes back and forth,
Yeah.
I always tell all my guys that, people that try to, get a job with me or ask me if I have a chair open. I'm like, yeah, unfortunately I'm booked, but I'm like, I'm gonna shoot you to Eli, I'm gonna shoot you to Hand Dog, I'm gonna shoot you to James, And it goes back to what we're talking about. Hey, I really can't mess with this guy because he has a substance abuse, or hey, I can't mess with him because he can only work from 9 to 12,
That availability.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then sometimes now that there's a influx of barbers coming, there's more people wanting to cut hair, that can help fill some of our chairs if we have openings.
Yeah.
But you got to think it took a long time to get here, and then there's still room to grow for improvement. So let's focus on that. So to the barber who's struggling, let's say with a substance abuse, they really want to work with you. What kind of advice would you give them?
We got to get them help. And it's not just these barbers, it's our whole community, It's the iron workers, it's the electricians, the plumbers, it's everybody. We need rehabs, We need help and we need rehabs. All these homeless people aren't out here for fun.
Yeah.
They have a substance abuse. And I told Eli this story. I was at Trader Joe's getting some groceries for the family, just had some free time, and they have a table set out and they're like, hey, we're giving out wet naps for the homeless people to wipe themselves down, and fresh socks. Would you like to donate? I'm like, that's not the problem. The problem is mental health. They have a substance abuse. What's up with these rehabs? That should be free health care for our own people, you know?
They're just curitas, right?
Yeah, you can't put a Band-Aid on a bullet hole, you know what I mean? And that's what it is.
And that's a great,
And it's sad. It's extremely sad. We've seen the South Bay go from like a genuinely, not just the South Bay, all of LA and all of California. Beautiful place. Yeah. I used to go to San Francisco, San Diego, prestige, beautiful, clean, right? It's sad to go there now.
Yeah.
It's sad.
And it's in our lifetime.
Yeah, and it's not just here. It's in New York. It's in Texas. I was just in New York last year. It's everywhere,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Philadelphia, you seen Philadelphia? It broke my heart.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem that we'd like to,
We have to do everything in our power to try to help those people and try to get them help, Yeah. But everything is a corporation out here too now, right? It's how are these corporations going to make money and profit? And it's something that I think has to start from home, and we have to start taking care of our kids so they don't go down that rabbit hole, right?
Absolutely.
And especially me, that I got 3 kids. I'm not planning on leaving the South Bay, but it's like you have to teach them like you can't go down that path,
Yeah,
absolutely. And that's what it takes, because and I can see your awareness has heightened now that you're a father, right? You're really looking at everything, and you want to protect them from everything, right?
Yes.
So and we've been there. I've been there, man. I've been there, and that's why it's businesses like ours that are community driven, that we service the community, that can get that word out, to look for those resources to help these individuals. I know that in the past, there are things that are available, but we gotta just do more, be more involved, not leave it. It seems like we all leave it to the next person to fix.
Yeah, it's very true.
So the fact that we are bringing, we could be talking about all kinds of other subjects, but this is important because it affects our communities. That trickles down into our businesses.
Okay, look, we're gonna say Lawndale. Growing up, how many bums were there when we were growing up?
Mike the Bum.
Mike the Bum.
God, the fact that we all know him.
I know people that live in Palos Verdes and people that live in like West LA, Culver City. Oh, I got a cousin, dog. Whatever happened to the guy sitting on the rock? I'm like, he passed away. Now you drive, you go to Redondo Beach Pier. They're everywhere, in Lawndale, and it's sad. It's like, it breaks my heart because it's like you want to help them, but mental health is one of the biggest problems out here.
Absolutely.
And we all have to do our part with our friends and our family to, stop drinking so much. Stop drinking, smoking so much. chill, you know? These guys are celebrating because it's 3 o'clock on Wednesday. I'm like, what are you guys celebrating about? You know?
Yeah, there has to definitely be more conscious effort to do better. In order to get better, we need to do better for
better.
people.
That's
You
true.
know? Like that's one of the things that
I mean, doing my part, I want to know what I could do to do more. That's what I want to know. You know, me myself. Um, One of my buddies came to me. He's going through a hard time. He's like, "Hey, Gabe, I don't have that much money. Can you help me out?" I'm like, "Man, I'm gonna take care of you. You've been taking care of me for years. It's only my duty to take care of you." You know, and he's going through it. You know,
Yeah.
he got health issues. He got, you know, he doesn't have a job right now. He's like, I'm like, I'm gonna do everything I can to try to help you out. You know,
and
and I'm pretty sure you guys done that. You
Yeah.
know,
100%. I mean, it's one of those things because we care about our community. We're not cutting hair because we like hair on our hands.
and don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about everybody just in the South Bay. Like me personally, like I've lost two of my best friends to drug abuse. You know, like they're zombies right now. They're talking to themselves, and it breaks my heart. But it's like you got to let them go and try to let them figure it out. Otherwise, you're just feeding the own drug abuse when you're like, hey, here's $20, hey, here's $40. Like even their own parents are like, you got to cut them loose.
Even that relationship, right? Like you dealing with that, a brother, a sister, a friend that's going through it. Like what to say to them, what to provide to them, because like you said, maybe you end up becoming an enabler, right?
That's
like
exactly
right.
what you become.
So how's that conversation sound like? How can we really help?
You know, when you help, rehab is the only way. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, because obviously, you beating them up, or you doing everything in your power, it's not gonna work out. You know, they got to learn on their own. So rehab there has to be something for rehab to help these people out. And I'm talking about my left and right hand man, like talking to themselves out in the streets right now, homeless. One living out of his car, one's off a Skid Row, from what I was told. I'm like, bro. And it's mental health, drug and alcohol abuse, and just, I guess, it's a drug pandemic, if you ask me, right? And it's nationwide.
Yeah. So and that's why we catch those little red flags, right, that happen. So it's not that, for example, like for me personally at our shop, we don't encourage over drinking. We encourage, if you want to have a sip, you want to have a beer, no big deal, right? That's not a problem. A customer, hey, you know, people come in and celebrate anniversaries, whatever their celebratory reason is to have maybe a drink, that's fine. But our that's where it kind of starts. So there's got to be more people have to have those tough conversations if you see those loved ones going down a road that's more than just moderate drinking, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where we need to speak up as community leaders, right? I feel that you're a community leader. I try to view myself as a community leader because guess what? When something needs to be done, I'm gonna be the first one right there. Just like what you just said, your boy needed some help. The fact that you just answered that way shows me that we're in line mentally, right? So
of course.
So these tough conversations, because we don't want to see them homeless. We don't want to see them that. So it's not that we want to bother or hurt. It's that I think that if we take a closer look at them as an individual and talk to them on a personal level, hopefully we'll get more, because putting them down, doing anything other than that.
I've never put my boys down, you know what I mean? But it's like I try to do that and they're in denial. They're like, no, I'm not using drugs. No, I'm not drinking. I'm like, how are you going to tell me you're not using drugs? I know.
Yeah.
You know? We've seen it. We've been around it our whole lives. You know, you can't run away from it. You have to. You're gonna have to sit down and pay the piper sooner or later.
Yeah, and it does start with a conversation, you know, and then based on their situation, you know, one of the things is like you mentioned it earlier. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it, right? So hopefully, you know, individuals that may find themselves in that situation, get help. Talk to someone. If you really want the help is there for you. So, I mean, there's plenty of institutions that really rely on work. One thing I learned was that there's a shot now. I didn't realize that you can actually take a shot that can help you, with the rave detox. Well, not detox, but there's a shot that you can take that will curb your want for alcohol, or the one I'm talking about is for alcohol, and it'll subside your cravings for it. So it'll allow you to develop a little bit of self-control, to build your body back up from the maybe some time that you've drank.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have found success being able to kick the habit of alcoholism through that shot. So that's one.
That's one. And then another thing, it's like, it's in our culture. You know that?
Yeah, dude.
It's in our
It is,
culture, especially the Hispanic culture.
Yeah, it's
My
almost-
buddy, I got a friend, he's Irish. His whole family's from Chicago. And he's like, it's not just the Hispanics, bro. It's the Irish too. It's everybody. It's part of our culture, you know?
Yeah, it's almost disrespect to say no, right? Like when you go to a
Yeah,
party
it
and you
is,
get
it
it's
is,
you're like,
it
oh,
is.
like almost you're too good for me. It's like
Yeah,
what? It's like it's poison. You're right. It's poison.
Sunday, the carne asada is going.
Yeah,
You
oh.
got the tío, toma,
Mandatory.
everybody. So it's part of our
Mandatory.
culture.
It is. It is.
I think education would help too. If we educate individuals as to exactly what happens to your body with alcohol, you know, that would be something that would be a little bit more shocking, right? Would have a little more shock value, because you're seeing exactly what happens and how it actually affects you on a cellular level. I didn't even understand that. Alcohol actually affects you worse than any drug, because your body can absorb it, all of it. So it goes in every cell of your body. I had no idea about that. But, you know, you do some digging because you want to help. You want to help yourself. You want to help others.
Hey, at the same time, don't get it twisted. Like I'm the one that used to be in Hermosa all the time,
Oh, yeah.
partying, and drinking, having a blast.
That was an era
Don't get
right
it twisted.
there,
Like
yeah.
I'm over here, like I'm better than everybody. Oh no, I pay my dues
For sure.
to the Henny, to the Patron, to the gin, all of it, to the Cabernets, everything. I've done it all.
But see, that's why we're now speaking from
Yeah,
this
because
position.
it's, you know, you can't let it consume you. You know,
Yeah.
you have to know how to live with it, and you have to learn how to put it down.
Because there's no lifespan for that. There's no, hey, you can be an alcoholic for 80 years, or you can use drug use. And
You're not gonna.
there
make it.
isn't.
You're not gonna.
Yeah.
You're not gonna live to see 40. You know how many friends I've lost in the last 5 years over liver cirrhosis? They just drank them themselves to death.
Damn.
But they've been drinking since they were 16, 17 years old. Number one, because of our culture, and number two, because nobody else was there to be like, yo, chill. You gotta
Yeah.
work tomorrow. But they drink every day. And I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah, no. It's like I always used to think it was like an escape, right? Like,
It
what is
is,
your life
yeah.
not fulfilling enough that like you have to every single day have to have a drink? Like what's going on? Like even in myself, like I'm like, why am I drinking? Like I just ask myself, like why?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, it's like a social thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's-
like
that's
for
exactly
me, it's
what it
like,
is.
yeah, it was like a social. Like we're hanging out, we're like, yeah, pop a beer. It's just so simple. Like, yeah, pop a beer. Nobody ever says, dude, let's take out our books and start reading. I know it's always some
go
unhealthy
do some
behavior.
push-ups.
Yeah,
Some pull-ups.
right. It's always some unhealthy behavior.
Yeah,
like,
it's very
like
true.
really, yeah.
Very true.
But one of the things that I've never really thought of, but in talking to somebody who's struggling with alcohol, they're disciplined. They have the discipline. They're disciplined enough to drink every day, to always make sure that they're always there, right? So the discipline is there. You just got to change it a little bit to something more healthy.
The
So,
direction, you
right,
know?
you change the direction. Instead of going for an alcoholic drink, maybe grab a water, go work out. Fill that void that you're feeling with something positive. That's for longevity, right? And that goes for everybody. I've you know, you got to just do something that's more productive so that you can be a solid member of society.
Yeah.
And you can reach, you know, a pinnacle like you have, the 20 years. In business, I mean, that's something that not too many people. This is
No,
the secret,
dude.
guys. That's why we're talking.
Yeah.
We're talking about some of the
I've
obstacles.
never
right?
heard all this, like what it actually takes. Like you don't. You just maybe you watch some social media and you see how people are doing it, but you really don't know what you guys were discussing.
Yeah.
Like, man, dude, it's not only your self-development, but now you have the shop, the people in the shop,
Man,
the clients.
I'll tell you a story of my buddy John Crandall. You know, he passed away. He was a great barber. You know, worked for me for a couple years. He went and moved up towards another barbershop, Floyd's, for a little bit because he needed some health insurance or whatever. And I was like, cool, handle your business. And one day to the next, gone. And I was just like, bro, like he was just here, you know?
Yeah.
And genuine guy, hard worker, you know? but it broke my heart. Young, passed away I think 38 or 39.
He
like
was young. That was a shocker for sure. Yeah, really nice guy. Very nice,
Yeah.
more quiet.
hilarious, man. This guy make me laugh all day. I'd be like, man, it's too much. He's hilarious.
Yeah. So see that, and that's why we want to. The clients, anybody, our coworkers go down a road that it's going to be a really hard to get out of.
Yeah.
So hopefully, we can.
Yeah, we're gonna touch somebody's heart. You know what I mean? And be like,
Yeah.
this is what we
Or at
wanna do.
least for them to look within, be like, is that where I'm leading to? Is my actions gonna lead me to that? To be out there in the streets? Like, is it healthy? Like, we really are our only referees, right?
Yeah.
Like, we can't. Sometimes we don't even listen to other people, even though they got your best interest. You're still like, no, like you have to literally figure it out on yourself. Like, you know what? No, dude, it's true.
Yeah.
Like all these kind of traps, right? Like that freedom with the time. How you gonna manage that, right? You don't have to take a cut. I'll just go outside and chill. Like
Yeah.
you have that. What other job? Think about what other profession really gives you that liberty, where you could just walk out. You don't have to tell anybody anything.
Yeah.
You're just like, no, I'm gonna go do something else. Like, right? And managing that, it's like, really, it's a good thing that you guys are sharing that, because new barbers are coming in every day, and they need to know what to expect.
Yeah, of course.
Like all these traps are gonna, if you have those aspirations of becoming a shop owner, like start thinking about it in this manner rather than some cool guy on Instagram with some nice neon lights, right? Like,
with a bottle of champagne. you
Yeah.
know, it's not all that.
Yeah, and one thing I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me is that not everybody is meant to have a barbershop. Not everybody really is. Like, you can be very successful working with and supporting a shop that's already established. You could be very successful doing that and not have to deal with some of the heartaches that we have to deal with. Because really, the barbershop setting is a room full of bosses. Even all the barbers that work there, it's a room full of bosses.
very true.
And guess what? One guy is responsible for all the bills. That's really what it is, right? In a nutshell. Because we can't really tell people what to do, but we do need them to support us, right? We
Yeah,
do
of
need them. We're
course.
grateful for those that do support us. And I think you would agree with this, Gabe, is that if there is a barber out there that's working at whatever barbershop you're working at, and you find it difficult to not drink or not, there's something difficult that you can't overcome, talk about it. Talk to the owner about it. If you don't feel comfortable with the owner, talk to one of your coworkers. Not to say I have a problem and just focus on the problem, but to really find a solution to get out of this rut that we've created. Because sometimes we create our own mess, right? Especially when it comes to substance abuse or drinking. It's us that's consuming. Nobody's putting anything
Yeah.
to you. So if that's the case, that would be a really healthy first step. Would you agree?
Yeah, of course, 100%.
Would you be open for somebody to talk to you?
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like-
feel free to reach out or pull up to the barbershop. You could talk to me. I'm gonna give you the best advice I can.
Absolutely, absolutely. And see, that's what most barbershops are. That's why we're a cornerstone, because the community's hurting.
Yeah.
Our doors are always open. It doesn't have to be about haircuts. It could be, hey, how can I help you? Is there something that you need? Of course, because you never know who that person coming in is, right? We always think of repeat business. That could be a potential customer. He may be down right now, but later on, come on, man, let me give you a hand.
100%.
So if there's anybody watching, please hit up Gabe, myself, Eddie. And that's the thing. We want people to find a safe space. That's why we wanted to create something like this, because they could reach us out on Instagram, wherever. Nobody's going to judge you. Like, we opened up. We've all been there, done that. We've just made the right change to continue to be successful.
Like Bob Alley used to say, closed mouth won't get fed.
That's right. You better open up.
You better tell me what you need help with.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely. So you're a family man. How's that been, man? How's that
It's
been? I want to know, what's Gabe like as a dad?
It's beautiful. I'm stern.
Okay.
yeah, all right.
And I'm probably stern. I'm stern because of my dad, for sure. And I used to see how you used to be on Eli, and I see my boy Ferns being stern on his boys. So, it's beautiful, man. I'm enjoying them. They are not lying how fast they grow.
Yeah.
I was like, This guy was just holding onto the wall. He's over here jumping. My oldest one, he's 10 years old. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I felt like a grown man was walking in the hallway. I was like, what the heck? Like, I got up and it was him using the restroom. But he's just big boy.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, wow. I was like, man, I thought you were a grown man in my house. Soon, if you think about it, he's 10. 8 more years, he'll be like, I'm out of here if he wants to, you know?
Yeah. The teen years
But
are coming.
it's fun. I try to enjoy as much as I can, you know. I know they want me there all the time, but I have to break it down to them that I got to help with the bills and I got to work, take care of my responsibility.
You're showing them the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, that's super important.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what are let me ask you, so what are some challenges that you have, like just for not just parenting, or what are some things that maybe have just that you've seen that's still kind of difficult, that, man, if I could just get this to get out of my way, I can level up?
That's a really good question, man. It has to be managing your time and making the right choices. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it really comes down to.
Absolutely.
And making the right choices. You know, like, you don't think I want to be at the gym with you guys every morning, you know, but I got to take my little boys and girls to school, you know.
Yeah.
I try to do it right after, you know, but it's really taking care of your health. That's another thing to all these young barbers. Like, you're gonna get gray hair soon, bro, and you're gonna get older, and you're gonna start having back pain. So you better start taking care of yourself as much as possible.
Absolutely.
Because
barbering taxes the body.
you end up with the barber bod.
Barber bod. Let's coin that. Barber bod.
Yeah, man, you got to really start taking care of yourself, you know. But that's probably it. Just, I'm doing the best I can to be the best person I can be. You know what I mean? And it's probably because we've seen so much negativity in our lives. You know, like, you know, with gang banging and seeing our friends die, and, you know, seeing alcohol and drug abuse consume them. It's like, yo, I have to do something to do better for myself and everybody around me. And that's you reaching out to me, and me, you know, me reaching out to you, and everybody looking out for each other.
Yeah, relationships are very important to me, definitely. Who I'm connected with, who I keep in that circle, who I can count on, that's very important. And that's one of the things that I think we should help guide our barbers, right?
Yeah, like, I know your mom and your dad used to probably tell you, hey, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm
timeless.
Bro,
Yeah,
I've been
still
looking.
hits.
I've been looking to prove
today,
them wrong.
I used to be like, damn, he
You don't
got
know my
me.
friend.
You know, like, he got me. But
I'm
it's,
really that?
yeah, and it's very, very true.
Yeah.
It's true. And in the South Bay, you already know, man, like, you're 5 minutes away, 10 minutes away from Manhattan Beach. You're 5 minutes, 10 minutes away from Inglewood and Compton. You know, you get the best of everything here. Well, you know, you got people from Wilmington coming out here. You got people from Culver City coming out here. It's a big, the Valley, downtown LA. You know, I got a neighbor that just moved in. He's like, yo, I live on 88th Street in Maine. And I'm like, why'd you move out here? He's like, because I'm done living that life. I'm like, yo, my best friend lives on 86 in Maine, you know, growing up. But it's like, he lived, you know, that's where mom's lived, and dad lives out in the South Bay. But it's a big mix of everything, you know.
Melting pot.
Yeah. There are people are traveling, people drive by, they're like, oh, it's beautiful here, you know, from Orange County, from the Valley, from everywhere.
That's true. Everybody has that same, like, kind of, they love this place.
Yeah, I mean, people travel from all over the world to come here. I mean, we've said it before, we literally feel that we live in the best part of the world. Just for the simple fact of everything all the access that we have, the cultures that are here, the opportunities that are here, the weather that's here, the experiences that we get to feel.
Man, I was in New York. I was like, whoa. Now, I used to see my dad with pictures of a scarf on him. And man, I ain't never wearing a scarf. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get 2 scarves. That cold ain't no joke.
That's bone cold.
It's like, whoa. is whoa, it's too much. You know, I was out in Florida. I couldn't believe the heat, man. I was like, oh, I can't handle
right. The
this.
humidity.
Over here, we open up the window. The South Bay breeze is coming in. Like,
yeah.
let's go.
Beautiful.
We're weather wimps. I
Seriously.
say it all the time.
Yeah, we're
we're not.
blessed to be here.
Yeah.
Serious. We're
Well,
like, we grew up here. We literally.
You know, it's November, December. We got board shorts and a T-shirt with a Dodger hat. Like, let's go.
That's
You know,
true.
we're spoiled.
Dude, you know what? I have a really like question that I wanted to ask both of you. How does a client become a friend? What's that transition like? Because I've seen it with him, right? Where his clients, right? And I know it's with you too, right? Where your clients turn into your friends and almost even family.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I have clients that are closer to me than some of my own family. You know, and that's the truth. You call them at 3 a.m, like, hey, I need your help. I'm on my way. You know.
I think the transition for me, when it becomes that, it starts obviously with a conversation. It's an alignment of kind of ideas, right? We're on the same page on some things. And just the appreciation for that person that just keeps coming and keeps supporting you and keeps supporting you. Like, we can't stress it enough how much our client support matters to us. And also something that we talked about earlier, how much it hurts us that when we give them one no, and then they're gone, that hits us, and we have to kind of, man up and be like, all right, hey, you want to go somewhere else? Hey, it is what it is, right? Because we're invested in every single person that sits in our chair. We wouldn't be able to be as good as we are if we weren't taking that approach. Yeah. That's the approach that was shown to us.
Yeah. And some people leave and some people come back, you know what I mean? And they were like, you know what, I'm kind of fed up with this guy's crap. I thought I was dealing with too much with you. Can I come back home? And it's true. It's very true. One of my boys just hit me up like, hey man, I want to know if I can come back. I'm like, man, my doors are always open. Yeah. You know what's up.
That's right.
I'm like, we're still boys. I'm like, I get it. You moved a little further down. You found somebody closer to you. Understood. I wasn't able to accommodate you that one day. So it's part of the business.
Yeah, but those people that do transition to that, absolutely, because think about it. People come in, they sit in their chair, they tell you what they're doing, why they're getting the haircut, right? So then you're like, oh man, that's what you're gonna do? Awesome. You talk about it a little bit more. They come the next week or in a couple of weeks, the follow-up, hey, how did that go? Oh man, it went great. So we're responsible for making sure their look is good, and that's important, right? It helps with self-confidence. So they're already endeared to us in a certain way. Yeah. So for that endearment to go back to them is because of what they tell us, like what they're sharing, the fact that they're sharing their life, the fact that, again, they come to support us, their longevity with us. All these things are taken into consideration, and it happens kind of overnight. Like, you realize how much they mean to you, because there'll come a time where they're gonna ask you for something, and you'll be like, you know what, yeah, bro, you've always been here for me. I got you, brother. Let's go. And then you become friends. I mean, he really...
And it's in all forms of life. Like, they're like, hey, I'm in a jam right now, man. I don't know what to do. My main sewer line went out, and this company's charging me $5,000. Man, call Ruben up. Ruben's like, oh, I can do it for $2,200. And they're like, I love you, here's another $100 or here's 25 more, and it's just simple things, like you just alley-oop it to somebody else.
Yeah, definitely. So
to help them out.
Yeah.
So in a sense, barbershops, as people know, because we do so many different people, we cut so many different walks of life, we have a lot of resources available to us. We know a lot of people. People have shared a lot of different things with us. And obviously the private stuff stays there, but when it comes to something like what he just mentioned, spot on, bro. Spot on.
Yeah.
You need anything,
how many times
ask.
Have you? Yeah, this has happened more times than I can think.
It happens every day, probably, man.
Yeah.
Every day or every other day, for sure.
Do you know someone? Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do, absolutely.
So does it really hurt you guys when the client cheats on you with another barber?
No,
that's just a social media thing.
I've been in the business so long, like it doesn't affect me at all. You know what I mean? Because people come and people go, and believe me, if he was your 3 o'clock every Friday at that time, there's somebody else that's gonna jump on that spot. But it's like, I get it. People are extremely busy. I got customers that live in Santa Monica, Venice, Culver City, and they drive out here to see me. If they can't make it on the 405 at 4 o'clock on Friday, bro, I get it. That's a nightmare. You and I both
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare to come out here. It's like, hey, it's cool. I understand.
Yeah, no, I think what hurts isn't that they go somewhere, like it's that they get cut up by somebody else, is that they're so quick to, after, like obviously, like there'll be a client, everybody has challenges, right? Something comes up in their schedule, hey man, I gotta reschedule. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
They'll reschedule a couple times, but now when it's your turn to reschedule, or hey, I can't get you, that's when it's kind of like, hey man, like I reschedule you all the time. What's up? Why can't you show me that same love, right? That's when it kind of stings.
Yeah.
If somebody goes elsewhere, no, I mean, of course. I mean, people are entitled to give their money to whoever they want.
Yeah.
It's my job, and I'm sure he'll back this up. I can only work on who's in front of me. If you're not in front of me, there's no need for me to think about you, talk about you, or anything like that, because you're handling your business. I have to be focused on the person in my chair. Now, obviously, if I don't see you in my chair for a while, yeah, the thought, hey, whatever happened to so-and-so? Oh, yeah, he's doing good. Or you run in. I've never run into somebody that had a fresh cut.
Oh, that.
If that's what you're trying to get at with social media,
like, yeah.
I started.
Right,
No,
yeah. You're like, damn, look at this fool's got it. I know I didn't get that cut, you know? But I get, it's a client thing, dude. It's really not you guys' thing.
Yeah.
We're over here all thinking, like, oh, we got, ooh, that's my ex-barber. I can't.
So the real flex is, what if that barber that was once sitting in your chair is sitting in somebody else's chair in that same shop? How are we as barbers, how are we going to handle that? That's a big problem. That's a big problem, because some people handle it like the customer.
You're dead to me.
Well, how you don't want to handle it is if you make that customer uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because if you make that customer uncomfortable, they're not going to support the shop at all. Now you just lost the customer as a shop. But if you go out of your way to make sure that they're comfortable, and it's not a big deal, it's a haircut.
Exactly.
What's most important is the fact that they're coming, they're supporting, they're still a client. Who cares who they sit with?
Hey, like I tell a lot of my customers, like, bro, chill. It's a haircut, not a liver transplant. Relax, man. These guys be melting down. Like, how could you do this? I'm like, bro, I'm alley-ooping you to my boy. Like, I'm not having my boy sit. Yeah, I'm like, chill.
And then as shop owners, I think that if we have somebody that's working in the shop, and we're telling a customer that we've serviced before and we can't get at the time, I think that it's important for that customer to understand that this person, if we're telling you that they can cut your hair right, you've been trusting me this whole time. I've been standing and working next to this guy.
Yeah.
He can do your
That's good
haircut.
to know.
I'm letting you know, hey, bro, it's okay. You never know, they might do a better job than I do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's happened.
I've always felt like it's like, oh, this guy just throwing me to whoever now. Obviously, you're too busy. Whoever your client is now is probably paying you more. Like, this is the psychological issues that the client has, right? Like, we think about it like that, like, oh, I know that guy's not. Why is he available? You know, you start thinking like that. You start feeling the way they're cutting your hair with the clippers. You're like, what? Like, if I know.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the separation anxiety is bad between clients and the regular barber. But rest assured, I mean, he has plenty. I just went to a shop yesterday, and I saw the vibe. He has some amazing barbers there, and they all were doing outstanding haircuts, all the latest haircuts, because this is his reputation. They see how he does. I mean, if there was a barber that was struggling to do a haircut, I'm going to teach him.
You gotta
I'm gonna
help him. You gotta help him.
I'm not going to let him drown.
So you're building your people up as well.
Absolutely. People taught us.
So that shop is not just independent contractors. They represent
it's
you.
A family.
And you help.
It's your family.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Somebody's struggling with something, you're gonna help them. It's just like any other job. If you're at UPS and you're struggling with a package, where you're gonna watch them just carry it, no, you're gonna get them over there and help them out. Same with us. If somebody happens to be struggling with a haircut, or we can see that there's something, hey man, run this with it. That'll help. Oh, okay, boom, there you go. Because sometimes it's a puzzle, you know, and you're at a certain spot and you forget where you're at, and now you're sweating and you want to do a good job. You know, you give them a little alley-oop. Hey, bro, do this 116 right there, corner, You'll be gone. Then now, now you became closer to that person that, you know, you helped them grow. And that's what it's about, man.
It's about communication, man. I just had this conversation. Everybody needs to communicate with everybody inside the shop, you know? If you don't communicate, you're just shooting yourself in the foot.
Absolutely. I don't understand how barbershops, and I've heard many, how barbershops operate, and the vibe is horrible. I've heard everything. People come in to work with us and they're like, oh man, this is a different vibe. I've been at other barbershops where, man, everybody hates on you, or they don't want to, they're taking my tools. I have missing things. I'm like, okay, man. It's like, or they get mad because I took one of their clients. So if you really think about it, I'm like, well, what is it that you're building? You have to first establish that. What are we building here, right? When you ask, what are we building here, then all the answers come in easier. So as long as you're building like he's built, like I've been, trying to build and do our thing, everything falls into place. But you have to have a structure, a healthy structure. You have to create a healthy environment for our shop so that people can come in. That's how you stay open 20 years. That's how you stay open 20 years, guys. It's no miracle. I see shops pop up and go right out the door all the time, all the time. And it's not a mystery. They would be successful too. They would if they just applied some of the things that we've been applying for years. It's time tested. Definitely. This was great, right? What do you guys think?
That was a good conversation.
Good
Like,
conversation?
At least just for me, selfishly, I'm like, oh man, like what you guys have to, like it's more than just a barbershop that I just attend for 30 minutes and leave, right? There's a lot more there to sustain it, for me to be able to feel comfortable that I'm gonna show up right there. It's gonna be there. I'm gonna get the good cut. I'm gonna be in a good environment and just walk out. So much work that actually goes into that, right? That we don't get to see. We don't get to hear until now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. It's a long day. Being a barbershop owner is a long day. You want to know the difference, and but see, it's because we love our community. We love what we do. We know that people are dependent on us to show up. So that says a lot. Barbering definitely builds character.
Gives you tough skin, man. You get alligator skin after your 15th, 18th year. You're like, just ain't go through anything now.
Yeah,
Nothing phases you.
Battle
You're like,
tested.
yeah. At this point, it's like, what can you bring now?
Yeah, definitely. So I think the best thing to do now, as we begin to wrap it up, is being that you've been in business for 20 years, and we've exacerbated how long you've been in business. As a barbershop owner, I know that you're always appealing to customers. You're always promoting and marketing. So here's your chance. I want you to tell whoever is a potential customer out there, what can they experience from you? What can you say to them? Pitch them.
I mean, you're just gonna come into a shop that's everybody's cool, friendly. You're gonna get what you want, and we're extremely clean. That's one thing I'm really, really, big on is picking up the trash outside, cleaning up, making sure everybody's on their P's and Q's in the shop, and being respectful. People don't want to. You walk into a business, they don't even want to say good morning to you or say anything to you. Everybody's cool at my shop. Like, hey, how you doing? It's gonna be communicate. It's gonna be 30 minutes. It's gonna be 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what you'll expect.
Absolutely. That was great. That's a good way to close.
Yeah.
So with that, thank you very much.
Yeah.
We'd like to tell our viewers that this is the end of our show, our end of our conversation here with Gabe. Thank you so much for coming. We hope.
I wanted to tell you real quick, both of you guys. Just want to let you know I'm really proud of the man you became. You too, Eddie, because I've known you as a little kid.
Yeah, it's true.
My boy Lupe and Guadalupe used to be out with you all the time.
Yeah.
And you too, Eli.
Yeah.
I seen what you become, bro, and I'm proud of you and I'm happy for you.
Thank you, Gabe. Thank you.
Gabe. And likewise, it goes right back.
Hey, we could be on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like
true.
Like that. So
That
you
is
gotta
true,
you gotta
dude.
keep doing what's best for you and your family and everybody else around you.
It's been a pleasure to see you grow too, my
Thank you,
brother.
man. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So there you have it, South Bay. We are going to be closing with this particular episode. We're so grateful to you. You've listened to our highs and our lows as barbershop owners. But what we definitely want to tell our community is how much you mean to us. We wouldn't be here sitting down talking about a barbershop if it wasn't for your support. Your support has been outstanding to us and essential to our growth, to our sustainability, and to our future. So please continue to support Gabe and his endeavors at Pressbox Barbershop in the beautiful city of Lawndale and all of his staff. There's some tremendous barbers and talent that are there, and he's always welcoming new people. Get a chance to see what all the buzz is about. Go to Pressbox Barbershop.